Level 1, the tip. It starts with a thumb drive. No name attached. Slipped under the door of the field office on a Tuesday morning when the parking lot is still half empty. You're the one who finds it because you're always the first one in. You're 29. 2 years out of Quantico. You've worked insurance fraud and a wire case that went nowhere. Your supervisor calls you thorough, which is the polite word for slow. You plug the drive in anyway. What you find doesn't make sense at first. Partial financial records. Encrypted file names. A spreadsheet with columns labeled only by numbers. 3 photographs of a sitting county judge leaving a building that doesn't appear in any commercial registry. You sit with it for 4 hours before you tell anyone. That pause, that 4 hours, is the first decision that changes everything. You don't know that yet. You think you're being careful. You think you're building a case. What you're actually doing is stepping into a system that has been running longer than you've been alive, and it has absorbed people more experienced than you without leaving a trace. You flag it to your supervisor. He looks at the drive for 40 seconds and hands it back. Run it through the standard intake process, he says. Document the chain of custody. He doesn't ask where you found it. You notice that. Level 2, the verifier. The first time you follow someone, it doesn't feel real. You've seen their file already. You know their habits better than they do. Morning gym. Same time. Same trainer. Lunch at 1:10, always late by 10 minutes. 2 phones. 1 always off. Your job isn't to gather. It's to confirm. Because nothing gets used unless it's airtight. You work in pairs, but you don't know each other's real names. That's the second rule. No full pictures. Only fragments. If something breaks, it breaks small. You learn the difference between rumor and leverage. Rumor is noise. Leverage is proof plus timing. You document everything. Exact times. Angles. Repetition. 1 clean piece of evidence is worth more than 10 guesses. The first time you realize what this system actually is comes during a handoff. You pass your file to someone higher. No conversation. Just a nod. A week later, you check the subject's profile. Status. Resolved. No explanation. But their behavior changes. They cancel trips. They stop meeting certain people. They become careful. You don't see threats. You see adjustments. That's the real currency here. Not money. Control. It starts to affect you. You notice patterns everywhere. People talking too loudly. Too confidently. Like they've never been watched. You know better. Everyone has something. You've seen enough to believe that. You stop asking what's right. You start asking what's usable. That's when they trust you with something new. Direct contact. Level 3. The messenger. The first message is simple. No threats. No drama. Just a document placed where it will be found. A printed photo. A timestamp. A single line. This doesn't need to go further. You don't wait for a reaction. You leave. That's the third rule. No confrontation. The system doesn't shout. It suggests. Most people understand immediately. Some don't. Those are the dangerous ones. You learn timing matters more than content. Send it too early, and it gets ignored. Too late, and it becomes useless. There's a window where pressure works. You're trained to find it. The first time someone tries to fight back, you see the other side of the system. They deny everything. They threaten legal action. They call it bluff. 3 days later, a second message goes out. More detailed. More specific. Not public. Just closer. They fold. Almost everyone folds. You tell yourself you're not forcing them. You're giving them a choice. That's how you justify it. Choice makes it feel clean. But you notice something. The higher value targets don't panic. They negotiate. That's when you realize this isn't just blackmail. It's exchange. And you're still at the bottom of it. Level 4, the operator. You don't deliver messages anymore. You design them. This is where it becomes a system. Every subject has a pressure profile. What they fear. What they protect. What they can afford to lose. You build leverage like a structure. Layered. Controlled. You work cases now. Real ones. A corporate board member hiding offshore accounts. A prosecutor with undisclosed connections. A media executive with a second life that can't go public. You don't push them. You guide outcomes. That's the 4th rule. Never take everything. If you strip someone completely, they become unpredictable. You leave them functional. Useful. You start seeing long-term plays. Not one-time leverage. Ongoing influence. A favor here. A decision there. Nothing obvious. Nothing traceable. Money starts coming in. Not directly. Accounts you don't control. Assets that aren't in your name. You don't ask. That's how you keep it. Psychologically, something shifts. You stop feeling like an outsider. You're inside now. You understand the rules. And more importantly, you benefit from them. That's when they show you the structure. Cells, layers, firewalls between roles. No one sees the full picture. Except someone does. You start wondering who. Level 5, the broker. You don't handle individuals anymore. You handle networks. Politicians connected to businesses, executives tied to regulators, people who influence other people. Leverage scales here. One person isn't valuable. Their connections are. You broker outcomes between them. Quiet agreements. Unwritten deals. You don't force decisions. You shape the environment around them. You learn the 5th rule. Information isn't power. Positioning is. You rarely speak directly. Intermediaries handle that. Layers protect you. But you still feel the weight of it. You see how small changes ripple. A contract awarded differently. An investigation delayed. A story never published. Nothing looks suspicious. That's the point. You start losing track of where your influence ends. You can't tell which outcomes are yours anymore. Or, if that even matters. Sleep becomes irregular. Not from fear. From awareness. You know too much now. And there's no way out. Level 6, the director. You don't build leverage. You decide where it goes. Requests come to you. Not from below. From across. Other cells. Other systems. You approve operations. Or you shut them down. This is where loyalty becomes abstract. You're not loyal to people. You're loyal to stability. Bad operations create noise. Noise creates attention. Attention kills everything. You start eliminating risks. Not violently. Operationally. People get reassigned. Cut off. Disappeared from the system. The 6th rule. The system survives. Individuals don't have to. You feel it now. Isolation. Not physical. Structural. No one above you explains anything. No one below you understands you. You're in the middle. And it's the most dangerous place to be. Level 7, the architect. You stop reacting. You start designing. New cells. New methods. New ways to gather leverage without being seen. You don't deal with cases. You deal with systems of cases. Patterns across industries. Across governments. Across borders. You see how everything connects. Finance. Media. Law. Technology. You don't control it all. But you understand it. And that's enough. The 7th rule. The less visible you are, the more control you have. You erase your own footprint. Old records vanish. Connections dissolve. Even internally, your presence becomes unclear. People reference you, but they don't interact with you. You become a concept, not a person. Level 8, the ghost. No one assigns you work anymore. Nothing gets approved above you. You don't act often. You don't need to. The system runs. Because you designed it that way. You don't see faces anymore. Only outcomes. A decision shifts somewhere. A story disappears before it's written. A person changes direction without knowing why. You feel nothing when it happens. Not pride. Not guilt. Just confirmation. You realize something late. Too late. Control and freedom were never the same thing. You can't leave. Not because they won't let you. But because there's nowhere outside this system that still makes sense. You sit in silence most days. No calls. No messages. Just awareness. You know every level below you. Because you built them. And somewhere. Someone just opened a file they weren't supposed to dot somewhere. A new hire stays late. They find something labeled wrong. Unprotected. Too detailed to ignore. They hesitate. Then they click. They think it's curiosity. They think it's harmless. You know exactly what it is. It's the beginning. And they don't understand the system. But they will.